What's going on, y'all? Welcome to today's episode of Solutions. As always, I pray that y'all are having a blessed week. I declare a blessed week over y'all life moving forward as well. So on today, me and Vaughn will be discussing whether or not kids should be paying bills in high school. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. Oh, bro. So the other day we were basically discussing how you've seen, let's say in people that you've collaborated with, that some kids were unable to participate in opportunities because their parents were forcing them to work in high school.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little bit of insight on that and what you believe, what impact you believe that decision by the parents has on the kids?
So in my line of work, I work in a pre-college program. That's what I mainly do. And so we help kids get to college. And what a lot of the kids' excuse is why they can't come to certain things or certain activities is, I have to work. I have to be at my job. And we like, okay, we'll get your hours around this time, this, that, and the third. Their excuse is, I can't move my hours. I have to work. I have to do this. And then I have to pay bills at home. And these are 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids that are being made to pay bills, and they're being made by their parents. Like, who else, right? Also, we were talking about a situation. Some of our kids, they have to be interviewed to be in the program. And you get a stipend. If you're doing everything you're supposed to do in the program, you get a stipend for being in the program. For being a good kid, you get a stipend. And I've been in a few interviews with a parent. It's just like, hey, they gonna hand me that stipend right on over to me, and it just discourages the kid on even one. Okay, why should I even be active? I'm not even gonna reap the benefits of being a good student and being in this program. As opposed to maybe going on some college tours and maybe having some experiences that you won't have on your own, but you automatically taking the kids' money. These kids are driven by money and food. They are. Money and food. These kids will do whatever you need them to do, and when you taking, they funds, or you making them work because they have to pay bills. My biggest thing with the kids, when they always say, the kids that say they want to work, I'm like, you have your whole life, unfortunately. You have your whole life to work. And when you get out of college, it's not going to be no more spring break, winter break, summer break. It's going to be work. It's going to be get up and go to work, because none of your bills going to take a break. So I don't be wanting the kids to work, but some of the kids are actually forced to work by their parents because they are being forced to pay bills at the crib.
So I kind of want to switch to the other end of that, it's all positive because it's all solution oriented, and we'll actually offer solutions for maybe, let's say, a kid that's in that situation with their parent, or a parent that's in the same situation and didn't realize the type of impact that their decisions are having on their kids. That way you'll be able to implement some solutions, because everything we do is solution oriented, hence the name of the whole playlist. So on the other end of that, I know you also mentioned that one of the kids in you all's program, or a former, I don't know if it was a former or somebody that's currently in your program, his dad runs a restaurant and he actually works with the restaurant. So what type of mentality do you think that his dad is instilling in him being in a family business, him being in a asset-focused space, opposed to you sitting up and trading time for money and not focusing on value provision? So how do you think that would set that young man up differently than everybody else that's being discouraged from creating value because they know that it wouldn't amount to anything?
Mm-hmm. Well, first off, Black-owned establishment, real good out here in Park Forest, called All Out Barbecue. Please visit them. They are in downtown Park Forest. Shameless plug. But our student there, I feel in that aspect, okay, he did go to college. Some things didn't work out all the way. He is still planning to finish school, but I feel like that this is, I don't want to say perfect, but it's something good. It's something that, if they successful, can be passed down to him. You know what I'm saying? This is we were talking about the other day, like, people, you can't pass down your job, this, that, and the third, but you can pass down this family business. Okay. And they have a family business. So I feel like in that aspect, he's not sitting at home on his butt waiting to, I'm going to start back in the fall and I'm just going to just do some little meaningless stuff in the meantime, he's helping out the family. You know, his sister is there, his mom is there, stepmom is there, his dad is there, and I believe one of the cousins be back there on the grill. I'm not sure. I believe either a cousin or uncle. So, you know, that's something that can, you know, be in the family, long as everything is going good, that can be passed to them. My experience with them, good customer service. My food was done in a good, timely manner. Everything was good. So, hey.
For a barbecue restaurant, that is an extreme accomplishment. I ain't gonna lie.
Got my food in less than 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's dope.
On a Friday.
Oh, yeah, on the Friday. Okay, this is a satisfied customer, right? Shout out to y'all. What's really huge with that is, with them having a family business and at this point building a brand, that's branding. When you have word of mouth recommendations, that's full branding. So him being younger than his parents, obviously, he could bring basically the newer generation to it because everybody got to eat. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that with the degree, like the way that the family structure is being dissolved, you got a lot more single moms, a lot more single dads. Single moms got to work, can't cook as much, so they going out to eat. Good or bad, you still providing the service that they need. Well, in this case, a product that they need with high quality service at the same time, as you can see. So that's something that he can leverage. He can come in and say, hey, me being younger, I know what the younger generation likes. I know that we need to bring some influencers in here. They like I know it's this black couple, I think they like the Chicago foodies or something, but it's a whole lot of Chicago food influencers that you can connect with. Because it's people like he said, they in the south suburbs, so they may not want to drive all the way to the city or west side or up north even to get some high quality food. So they like, man, what are the high quality black owned restaurants? Like I done groomed my algorithm to feed me straight black owned businesses. So now it's like the Chicago Foodies drop a list. I'm pretty sure that's their name. If not, I'll probably add it in the link or something in the description. I mean, so now it's like he making YouTube videos with these influencers, they doing it, and now, like you said, if they continue to have that legacy, if their business continues, his father is either intentionally or unintentionally instilling within him that entrepreneurial spirit and is nurturing that, is teaching him how to run a business because he's active in the business. So now it's like, even if he doesn't know what's gonna happen, he gonna be straight because he's gonna inherit this asset. Because once you understand the systems, you can replace yourself. You create what are called standard operating procedures in whatever role you filled in the business. Now you can go hire somebody for, I don't know, whatever, like $4 or $5 over minimum wage to encourage them to actually show up, to actually put in the work. And then on top of that, if you decide to nurture them, y'all being a black owned business, you telling them like, look, I inherited this business. This is a family business. My dad started it or whoever it started with. Now you're encouraging that person. Now they're going to show up because they see that they're going to learn. They're in a position where they're going to earn money and they're going to grow. So even if it is a kid that say they under a parent that forces them to work, now that's a lucrative situation for them because they seeing firsthand like it's possible for us to have a family business. They seeing like this business has been passed down and it's still up and running. This business is a black owned business, and you see he just debunked all the myths associated with black owned businesses, poor customer service, the whole 9 yards. So he got everything in order.
That's crazy. I didn't even notice that.
Bro, exactly.
Because that's always, we be talking about this, and that's always my biggest complaint with us is the customer service, because a lot of times our products sometimes will tend to be higher than maybe commercial brand products or something like that. So if we gonna pay a little more, just have some good customer service. That's all. I give you my money. I just want to feel welcomed when I come in your establishment. That's all. Make me feel welcome like the Eastern Europeans. That's a good way to call them. The Eastern Europeans. Maybe.
Conquistadors.
The conquistadors.
I don't care.
Okay.
We need to be black owned. We need to be.
Yes.
This hoodie is from a black owned brand.
I'm all about supporting black owned. Got this from a man in Los Angeles selling Kobe Bryant shirts
on the street
by the Kobe Bryant statue at the
stadium.
The stadium, yeah, right by the stadium. I don't mind supporting you. Real nice guy, real good, very personable, very mannerable. Spoke to us. Didn't even ask us to buy nothing, but just was speaking, and we gave you our money. You know what I'm saying? We supported you. So I'm all about supporting black-owned businesses that got good customer service.
Honestly, that's what you're going to remember, too. Yeah. Like, you're not going to remember what you paid. Well, you probably going to remember what you paid for, based on who you are. But if the service is so high value that you just, Like, man, like, think about all the luxury brands that we pay over for a lot. Like Dior, you know that margin is like they may have paid $50 to make this bag. It's $1,000. Like, yeah, it's fulfillment costs, but that's how they're able to have these high-end stores downtown where they create the ambiance, they provide the service. They like, I think I heard a rapper. He was like, when you spend 20 in, it was some designer brand store that I'm not gonna shout out. They give you champagne. And they bring you to the back. They give you, bro, it's an experience. So the experience is what you remember. That's how you create that brand value. So him being younger, bro, you leverage social media. Not only will that location thrive, but now they're able to put a location in Bronzeville. Now they're able to put a location on the west side. Now they're able to put a location up north. Now they're able to become a national brand. Yeah. And when we get into the national brands, now you can help your kids disassociate their time and money. Now you're not trading time for money. Now you're trading value for money. Now you have family businesses. Now the family brand is something that's prevalent in the Black community, like we saw in Black Wall Street in Tulsa that they bombed. The people always gonna tell you when you barking up the right tree. So instead of you forcing your kid, honestly, if you work for that barbecue spot, that'd really be lucrative for you. If they pouring into you, like they having a conversation, working under that Black-owned brand, that barbecue restaurant, you will see like it's about value. So now you're thinking differently. So now that situation, this is how God works. That situation that your parents put you in, forcing you to pay bills, which is honestly absurd, honestly. If you in high school, you're supposed to enjoy your life, and you hear the common ideology is, man, when you get out of school, you just gonna work, and that's gonna be your life. The companies that we work for, we create the lifestyle that we see on social media for them. So why can't you do it? You see that this is a real life example. That's a family-owned business. Everything that they do to cook, even marketing, as long as you're creating and controlling the narratives that go into your branding, all of those positions can be hired out. And the money is gonna come in as long as you got satisfied customers. So create your product or service around the customer themselves, and that's gonna help y'all go to the next level. Bro.
I would have went the other day, but apparently everybody else satisfied too, because there was a line down the doggone street.
No, for real.
So keep it up. All Out Barbecue, downtown Park Forest. I don't know the address. Just use your maps or your Google Maps.
Park Forest, Illinois.
Park Forest, Illinois. Yes. Not Forest Park, because there is one of those, but Park Forest, Illinois.
I also think it's pretty prevalent for parents to feel the urge to kick their kids out at 18, especially in our communities. I mean, it makes sense if you're not gonna go to school to get a job. Ideally be working on something, or ideally go into an environment where, like we said, you will be around, I say, like-minded individuals or people that have a mentality that you want to obtain, because that's what will allow you to, number one, enjoy your life, which is something that we've gotten so far away from as far as our people in general. We just so focused on putting food on the table that you don't even enjoy your life. Like, go somewhere, like I alluded to earlier, go somewhere where you'll earn and you'll learn, where you'll grow, somewhere where you'll want to get up and go every day, even if you know it's just either means to an end, or you know it's just helping you achieve your goal, whether it be monetary, whether it be a skill set, whatever. That's what you should use to select your opportunity. You may go I used to work for a Black-owned title company. I was making $18 an hour. Amazon paying $20 an hour. Okay, you're gonna lose $2 an hour, but for me to learn from decades of knowledge in these Black women that have been in real estate for, they do tax investing, they got a real estate brokerage, they run a title company, shout out to DRG Title. Like, that little $2 is nothing compared to that. You're gonna sit up with them, like, say I don't remember what my checks were, but I was making $18 an hour. I earned that money. I'm talking to her, I'm like, man, I wanna go to the scavenger sale with you, or the original tax sale, and try to get some properties. And she like, man, you're gonna go with me, and you're gonna watch the bidding process. You may do that for the first year. The second year, you're gonna really be up. You're gonna have money to invest, and you will have seen her go through the bidding process. So, long story short, take a job for what you'll learn, not for what you'll earn, because they told me I'd be going crazy. Circling back to the either kicking kids out at 18 or making them get a job, basically as soon as they get in high school, is that something that you see is very prevalent, or how do you think that Black parents are raising our kids on today, from what you've seen?
You mean making them get a job when they graduate high school?
I mean, getting a job, like, that's why I kind of hedged against that, because
Okay.
it low-key makes sense for you to get a job when you graduate if you're not going to go to school. And then if you in school, bro, please network. Like, you want to be an entrepreneur, network with your business professor. They most like, that's the closest thing that you're going to get to a mentor, unless you have a mentor that you're connected to. So always use those resources, because it's either complimentary, meaning scholarships or FAFSA, whatever, or y'all paying for it out of pocket. So use your resources. But it's not ridiculous to get a job out of school, as long as you're going somewhere where the value is there, not inherently, you're not going strictly for monetary purposes. But I mean, like, when you come out of school, parents expect you to just move out.
I mean, even in my life, it was expected. One, I was going to school. It wasn't like another option for me or whatever. I was going to school because I needed to be up out my house. Yeah, in the black community, that's what it is. Like, we literally is like, you turn 18, get out my house. It's like you forced out. We forced the kids out. My previous job, I worked at a bank. I was a regional supervisor, so I would be over 17 branches, and I would see the same thing at every branch. We were the only demographic of people that I saw that 18 and 19-year-olds coming to the bank that maybe weren't in school, they weren't living at home. They were living on their own and like struggling. That's what I seen. But I seen other races got tens of thousands of dollars in their account, and they got everybody living in the house. Everybody living in the house, everybody building, everybody got money, nobody struggling. Like, they in the nice, a nice baby. Man, I don't know what kind of crib they had, but everybody was in the crib. Everybody's address was the same. And everybody had a nice amount of money in their account. I can't disclose that, how much they had, but everybody had a nice amount of money in their account. And I noticed that with other races. But when it came to us, you got to get out at 18. And I understand it's either you go to school or go to work. And a lot of times it be on the kid too, ready to go, because ain't no telling the toxic relationship, and that's going to another topic. But ain't no telling how that upbringing was. So sometimes when you get 18 and you get to that point, it's like, okay, I gotta go. I didn't have such a, I would say, toxic upbringing. I think everybody had their ups and downs and stuff with their upbringing, but living in the house wasn't an option for me. That's just me. I don't know if I would have been another race, that would have been something, but living in the house for me was definitely not an option. I would not, like, even when I graduated college, my mother's graduation gift to me was 3 months of rent at my apartment, because living at home, that's not.
So, as I shared, we are focused on solutions. So with that said, a few things that come to mind when I hear these situations. Number one, before we even get into that, I have to address the fact that we have to focus on, like, when you say homeownership, we have to think, like, I say buildings. There are loan products like FHA 203, 203K if you want to buy something and renovate it. That's what will help you get set up for generational wealth, because now not only are you moving out and buying something, but now you're moving out and buying an asset. Because now it's appreciating, and there are other people in that building paying rent to you, which is offsetting your expenses. If you aren't profiting, always remember to include your maintenance costs. Always be saving money aside for maintenance as an owner. But that's a gap in itself before you even get to entrepreneurial spirit, or before you even get to being growth minded. Like, you can work a job and have assets, because as we share, you cannot pass down a job, even if you have a great paying job or the first person in your family to make 6 figures. So that's a difference in itself. So now you allowing your kids to stay with you. Number one, you have to groom them in financial literacy. That is a prerequisite in itself. I was just on the phone with somebody. I was like, these kids are 95% parents and 5% their decisions, because you groom them by determining their thought process. You determine their language, which is something that's huge. Kids are literally sponges. Like, how did you get your son or daughter to say their first words? By repeatedly saying it in front of them. When your kid go to school and they got in trouble for cussing, where did they hear the cuss words at? Everything is predicated by you, and they really products of you. I be having my dad tendencies OD. I be like, the way I'm standing, moving, everything, like, it's determined by you. You lead by example. How do you treat your wife? How do you speak to her? Do you no, do you refer to her as your wife, or do you refer, like, how do you speak to her? Because that's how they will treat theirs. And that's what you pass down. So being in the house with them, creating that loving environment. Also, it's an app that you all should look into as far as investing. It's called Bloom. To be transparent, I have a paid account because I actually invest in stocks through there. They're one of my brokerages, but they do like education on traditional stock investing, education on private equity, education on venture capital, education on mergers and acquisitions specifically, which is like buying existing businesses. Please do not let these terms confuse you. Let's say when you have like a 401k, when you have your company, well, the company that you work for invest in how you build your pension, they literally go to these private equity firms. They literally have a stock portfolio set aside for you. So you have to educate yourself on this, because that's what will allow you to grab a hold of what they're taking directly out of your check, whether you know what they're investing in or not, like whether you know what you're accumulating or not. You need to know where your money is going and what it's earning and what fees you're paying. Like, we have to become aware of this. So allowing them to stay in the house, step one. Step two is making sure that you're pouring into them the financial literacy that they need to, let's say, sit up and stack. They're not just living with you and then the money that they making, they buying liabilities, like they stacking that bread. Let's say it may be a high yield savings account, or they may go through Bloom and say, hey, I want to invest in a blue chip stock. I want to invest in something that I know 1 to 2 years from now, when I'm ready to go and buy this house, that it's going to be then appreciated, or it's a relatively low risk investment. That's something opposed to spending $100 a week on weed, which I've heard from people around my age group in the past. Like, if you put $100, let's say $50 into a high yield savings account, which is backed by the FDIC, backed by the FDIC, which is guaranteed to make that set percentage, and $50 into a stock that you want to invest in every week, what do you think that would look like? If you raise your kids on that mentality, what do you think the future of your family would look like? Now you wouldn't have to force them to work to pay bills, because, as I shared, the purpose of money is not to pay bills. The purpose of money is, it is a tool to create opportunity. Like, you use it, you got a percentage to pay bill. A lot of people say streams of income. If you're gonna have multiple streams of income, make sure that they all complement one another. Like, if you got a trucking company and then you got an Airbnb company, that there's kind of a disassociation. But if you have an Airbnb company and you got a property management company and you got a plumbing company, you got an HVAC company, those are all verticals and they all complement one another. And now your multiple streams of income are not making you spread yourself thin, but they can become a single conglomerate. Well, I don't want to use complicated terms.
Conglomerate.
And I don't even think that's accurate. I think conglomerate is like collaborate. It can make it a portfolio of things that complement one another. Now you're not working 80 hours a week to have those multiple streams of income they told you to have. Now you can focus and, as I shared, control the narrative behind your marketing, behind your branding. And now that's when you get to that 10 hours a week of working that you want to be at. And now you have the time to spend with your family and get back to that traditional mentality. And now when your kids are growing up, you're not making them pay bills because you have assets that allow you to cover your expenses. Because chances are, if you got your kids paying bills, you probably spending your money on liabilities, or you don't have the skill set that's necessary to have a high-paying opportunity that allows you to afford traditional living. This is not derogatory. This is all constructive criticism. This is hitting home what is necessary for us as Black people to climb the ladder, like climb the totem pole as far as financial literacy, to change the narrative. Now when you graduate high school, you got a stock portfolio, you got savings, you prepared to buy a building opposed to come out and rent and then try to figure it out. Like, why would you have kids and you know you've been trying to figure it out and you force them into a position the whole point is you're passing down wisdom. If you're not passing down wisdom, you're passing down generational curses. I feel like I just went hard, but that's real true. Talk, bro.
That's true.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
All of the bins, the nice car, all that stuff that you want, like, bro, learn how to create value. Learn how to prioritize assets. Yeah. Teach your people to prioritize assets. And then buy what you want. Because now, when we go on that trip we go on a quadruple date to Bora Bora, just because we signed documents on a new building, now the whole trip is a tax deduction.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think asset first, I promise you, you will be able to buy whatever you want, and you will connect with somebody that's gonna show you how to make your liabilities assets. I'm bro.
On phone now.
I'm bro. So with that said, another gem that we got for y'all. We recently did a video on business models that high schoolers can take advantage of. Off the top of my head, I know this mom. She had her kids going to a private school up north, and they would sell candy bars, but they had a private school up north. So they got candy bars, and they intentionally would say that they wouldn't bring change. So they like, the kids, all they got is a $20 bill. The candy, they charging $5 for a candy bar, which is already OD. These not king size. These are, bro, they're at a private school up north. These kids do not care about money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, they paying $20 per candy bar.
$20.
Bro, and then when the next, think about it. Think about it. You go to a private school, up north, and you selling candy. They're like, all I got is a $20 bill. You didn't bring no change on purpose. You like, man, let's say I give you 2 for $20. They like, cause that's all they got. Cool, they give you 20. You still don't have $5 dollar bills to change for the next person. So they come to you like, I have no change. $20. Bro, your margins is OD. So we went over that, and I think there were like 4 to 6 other business models that I went over. So we're gonna link that video down below. So with that said, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. If it's a aspect that I haven't covered in this video that y'all want us to go more in depth in, then make sure y'all drop those in the comments. As always, have a blessed week, and peace out.